So first of all, there's like a 30.3% increase in the cost of presenting live music between like from 2022 to 2024. So that's one way it's massively broken. There was 125 venue closures last year. That's not a great sign. Um, the main streaming service that we use has demonetized over 80% of music on its platform, whilst the shareholders have just cashed out over 419 million between them. The deals between major labels and streaming services were signed under NDA, so no one knows actually how much money they're making. And I'm actually at risk of being blacklisted and chucked off playlists for even talking about this, which I think personally should be illegal. There's like record profits basically at the top. And that's what we're seeing with, like Oasis shows and like dynamic pricing and people becoming billionaires from like touring. But there's a rapid decline and a crisis in the grassroots. And if you take out the grassroots of like culture, what is left? It's just corporation. And the market share is in decline. So that in any other industry, you'd just call that a complete failure. So I think it will collapse. And I think if you just sort of get to the point where no artists, apart from the rich ones, can afford to tour, you're going to see like more and more venues closing. Because if artists aren't touring, venues won't exist. Tons of people are going to lose their jobs, like crew, drivers, people that work in venues, as well as musicians who are just going to basically find other ways to fund still making music, but not be able to travel and not be able to tour. So there's a couple of ways that everything's absolutely gone to hell. I think that I'm making a point about agency. You know, I've got agency from this. I'm trying to like raise cash so that I can reinvest in myself, reinvest in my creativity, and I'm not willing to like cut corners and do things dangerously or unethically, or less of a high quality. So I'm not going to like compromise on that. So because of that, it's like it's harder for me to not lose money. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not, I think it's really important people are not sort of saying like, oh, she needs to do this, and sort of it's so sad, isn't it? Well, it's terrible what's happening in the music industry. It's absolutely terrible because what the music industry is saying and what everyone's like allowed to happen is the message that like we don't want diversity in culture and there's no space for working class people. That is terrible. Yeah, that is really sad. What I'm doing is genius because I'm using my bum to fund my music career and I have agency. People want to see it and I'm happy to sell it. I love my ass. I think it's great. And it's also really funny and it's a punk protest. So what kind of has informed my ideas on sex work is like feminist adult filmmakers, like my education, my unlearning of like some of the things that I've been indoctrinated by, as you know, growing up as a woman in society that's like shaped a lot by religion, whether you're religious or not. Like a lot of I think things in culture have been impacted by that. My feminism is intersectional. I've had friends like do sex work. I have friends that work in adult filmmaking, have their own companies. So I feel like I've just sort of really learned a lot from other people in the industry. And this is like a solution to my problem, which is financial strain, because I made a record and I'm putting on 3 tours in a row. And I'm not willing to, like I said, like, cut corners, make things unsafe or unethical and pay people less so that I can profit more. As an employer, I like to do things fairly and even like pay people well. I know a lot of people that ask for things for free because they have to, or cut corners on like an overpacked van or an overpacked bus, which actually isn't a safe way to travel, or like are undercutting people that they're employing. I'm not willing to do that. So I need more cash to do what I want to do and to do it properly and fairly. And this is just an idea that came to me last week, and I thought it could be quite a fun way to start the tour. Um, you know, I've been paid to be naked before. I was naked on Glow, and it's really empowering actually, like when your body is, like I don't know, when you're comfortable with yourself and you feel kind of like in control, I guess, of what you're doing.